Good afternoon. First thing we're going to look at is yesterday's deaths. We see the trajectory is going down, it's getting lower, making the disease more controllable. We need it to go to that one line that's going straight down, which is Donald Trump's approval rating. Next, we have presumed deaths, which they're not counting probable deaths, but I'm calling my own category presumed deaths, people that we haven't seen or heard from in a long time. The first one is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and then there's this guy, who people, even when he's standing upright, nobody knows if he's dead or alive. At this point, it's 45 seconds in to my press conference, and I'd like to make that crazy face that I like to make. Thank you. That felt great. Okay, let's move on to hospitalizations and surgeries. As you know, we've opened it up where you can get surgery. I say with extreme caution, please only get a surgery if it's extremely life or death necessary. Nipples pierced, essential surgery. Next, let's talk about social distancing. Continue to go 6 feet apart, but I'm going to add a little factor here. If you see someone who's totally undesirable, I would add an extra 6 feet, which would be 12 feet. Not that douchebag. That douchebag. And I have to say, speaking of him, I took my COVID-19 test and I passed. I got an 87. Next week, I'll be taking a DNA test. I'll have Ancestry.com come in here, and I hope it comes up negative that I'm not related to him. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. I want to resume activities as I want you to. Just like you, I want to go out and do all the things that I normally do, which would be naming New York landmarks after my father. There's the Mario Cuomo Bridge. There's going to be the Mario Cuomo Empire State Building. And then there's my favorite, the Cuomo Tower. By the way, there's been a lot of controversy about Donald Trump experimenting with certain drugs, the malaria drug to be particular. I would just like to say he is the leader of our country and being the head of the biggest state in the union. I know California, they're a bunch of freaks. I don't count them. There's Texas, a bunch of rednecks. They don't count. And Florida doesn't count because any state that would elect Jeb Bush twice, I don't listen to. The only person who had any cultural contribution that came out of Florida was Art Stock. As you know, some good things have come out of the pandemic. One of them is I've become a sex symbol. And I think that's great. I would like to go out and capitalize on this newfound fame. I'd like to take a woman out to dinner, drinks, removal of clothing, penis insertion. You know how that goes. And I just have to say, when I do it, when I'm with a woman, I take her clothes off in phases. It's all what's applicable criteria for the next phase. I'll start off slowly. It's like a gauge, and you turn it back, and it goes around, but you don't want to go too fast. You don't want it to go lower after it's been higher. You want to control the situation. And it's cyclical, it's cylindrical, it's a circle, it's 360 degrees, but you don't want to go 350 degrees. You want to go 360 degrees. You want to go full circle. You want to go full cycle. Basically, it ends up like two isosceles triangles conjoined. I'm glad we straightened that out. Now, I'm just going to say one thing. Some people, they made me add a sign language person. And I feel like there are some people who don't understand what I'm saying. So for this next vignette, I'm going to add subtitles. So please, I would like you to remain 6 feet apart, practice safe distancing, listen to the law, and everybody will be all right. For my last thing, I recommend that you stay home, and there's some interesting programs. I'll give you my take on what to watch. First of all, I, myself, and my brother, who's also considered a sex symbol, will be featured next year on MTV's Double Shot at Love. We'll be replacing Paulie D and Vinny, who I have to say did commendable jobs, but they're not the Cuomo brothers. Secondly, there's one other program I'd like you to watch. ESPN had a fabulous documentary called The Last Dance. Thank you and stay safe.